Have you ever wondered how fish breathe underwater? It's a question that has puzzled many. The world beneath the water's surface is an entirely different realm where the rules of life as we know it are rewritten. Fish, like most living beings, require oxygen to survive, but unlike us, they don't breathe air. Instead, they extract oxygen directly from the water in which they live. Imagine that. Every time a fish opens its mouth, it's not just yawning or eating, it's literally breathing in life-sustaining oxygen. This is a world where the air we depend on is replaced by water, and yet life thrives, undaunted. This fascinating adaptation allows fish to survive and flourish in an environment that would be unlivable for most other creatures. Just think about it. This is an example of evolution at its finest, a testament to the diversity and adaptability of life on Earth. How intriguing it is that fish have evolved to thrive in a completely different environment than us. But how exactly do fish extract oxygen from water? The answer lies in a process called respiration. Now, let's break this down a bit. Respiration is essentially a process where oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is expelled. It's a bit like how we breathe in air and breathe out the stuff we don't need. For fish, this process is a little more complex. You see, the oxygen they need isn't floating around in bubbles or anything like that. It's actually dissolved in the water they swim in. So how do they get to it? That's where their gills come into play. Gills are a bit like our lungs, but they function quite differently. They're designed to extract oxygen from water, not air. They do this by allowing water to flow over them, capturing the oxygen as it passes by. So it's their gills that act as a gateway to life-sustaining oxygen. Gills play a vital role in fish respiration, but it's the process of diffusion that does the magic. Now let's dive into how gills work. Picture gills as a highly efficient, natural filtration system. They are full of tiny blood vessels or capillaries, which have very thin walls, almost like a delicate lacework. This thinness is key to easy gas exchange, a vital part of respiration. Think of these capillaries as the bustling highways of the fish's respiratory system. Oxygen needs to travel along these highways to reach the fish's cells, and carbon dioxide, the waste product, needs to be removed. But how does oxygen get onto this highway in the first place? That's where the magic of diffusion comes in. Diffusion is a process that occurs in all liquids and gases. It's the movement of particles from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. In the case of our fish, the water around it is high in oxygen concentration, while the blood in its gills is low in oxygen. So naturally, the oxygen in the water diffuses or moves into the fish's blood, but that's only half the story. Remember that carbon dioxide waste we mentioned earlier? That's got to go somewhere, and again, diffusion comes to the rescue. The carbon dioxide in the fish's blood is at a higher concentration than the water outside, so it diffuses out of the blood, across the thin walls of the capillaries and into the water. From there, it's carried away, leaving the fish with fresh oxygen-rich blood ready to be transported to its cells. So while gills might get all the attention when we talk about fish respiration, let's not forget the key role played by diffusion. It's the unsung hero of underwater respiration, enabling fish to extract the vital oxygen they need from water and helping to remove the waste carbon dioxide. Diffusion is the unsung hero of underwater respiration, enabling fish to extract the vital oxygen they need from water. Gills seem pretty amazing, right? But how do they compare to our lungs? Let's dive into that for a moment. Both gills and lungs are marvels of nature, designed for gas exchange, but they operate in vastly different environments. Gills are the champions of underwater respiration. They're incredibly efficient at extracting oxygen from water, much more so than lungs are at extracting oxygen from air. This is due to the fundamental nature of water, which is denser and holds more oxygen than air. On the flip side, lungs have their own advantages. They're perfectly adapted for life on land, where air is less dense and has a lower viscosity than water. This makes it easier for lungs to pull in air and extract oxygen. So, while we may marvel at fish with their gills silently drawing oxygen from the water, the fish might be equally amazed at our ability to breathe in air. After all, it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? In a nutshell, fish have their own unique way of breathing underwater. They harness the power of respiration, using their gills as a gateway for oxygen to diffuse from water into their bloodstream. This process, quite distinct from our lung-based system, is a stunning example of nature's adaptability. It's all about the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide and how life forms adjust to their environments. Next time you see a fish swimming effortlessly underwater, remember the amazing process it's using to breathe.